Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the third episode of the Young Villains podcast. It's just me and Ben because
Mm,
Jude is unfortunately quite busy with schoolwork, and I think
hmm
he's still in a lot of pain with the operation.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ben, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, apart from the fact that we obviously recorded this exact podcast about was it on Tuesday? No, Tuesday or
Uh,
Monday? I can't remember.
it was on the
Um,
8th, so Monday.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, Monday, yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah,
But
basically,
basically, my
yeah,
distro
you can
volume for
explain it.
Harry was too loud. I have everyone on plus 200% on Discord, so he sounded 2 times louder than me. So it made it so you couldn't hear me at all, and it was too loud.
Yeah, so
so
yeah,
hopefully,
basically,
hopefully it's similar level now.
yeah, basically we're just beginners to podcasting,
Yeah.
and yeah, we just don't really understand
Mm.
how to do things. Um, before we do get
mm.
into like the Premier, obviously this
Yeah.
podcast is for Premier League predictions. I
Mm.
just want to thank everybody for all the support on the channel.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have tuned into the video that we did last week with Max, and like it just means the world to us. So because we just do this, um, every
Yeah.
now and then, like every week or so, for an hour,
Mm.
just sit down, speak about Villa, speak about football, and
Yeah.
we're actually starting to see results. We've only done it for about we've only like come up with
Mm.
the idea about a month ago, so it's mental. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to say thank you,
Yeah.
and yeah, all
Some
the support
people
on Twitter.
some people might
Yeah, like,
argue, we
like,
call it subs because we've
yeah,
got
exactly.
9 views per sub right now. So, yeah,
Yeah,
but
but yeah, literally like uh,
yeah,
it's
it's been a great
it's
start.
pretty mental, and obviously we've only just started, and this is the only way
Mm,
it's up from here.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously all the support on Twitter as well. Like even if it's just you retweeting a tweet, it still gives us a wider audience. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
just
just wanted
follow
to
us on
say
Twitter.
yeah, exactly. That'll all be linked in the description. My
Yeah.
Twitter, Ben's Twitter, Jude's Twitter, like all the joint Twitter, Young Villains Podcast Twitter. So yeah, that'll all be in the description. Before we do get into it, on the topic of Jude, obviously if you are watching, get well soon, mate.
And
Uh,
also vote for him in the FCAs.
yeah, that's literally what I was gonna say. Like he's a finalist
Yeah.
for the Football Content Awards. I believe he's running for the best young content creator.
I've
Uh,
voted for him. Have you?
Yeah, same, yeah. So yeah, just go and vote for him. I
Mm.
believe the steps are in his story highlights on his Instagram. If not, I'll leave them in the description of the
Mm.
video on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify, then just I'm not sure. Just
Yeah.
um, yeah. And
Mm.
the last thing I want to discuss before we do get into the
Yeah.
video, I want to know what content you guys want to see,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
obviously it's just me, Ben, and Jude. Well, we come up with the occasional
Yeah.
video idea that could potentially be
Uh.
good,
Mhm.
and we don't know whether you guys will actually enjoy it. So we actually want to know what content you guys would like to see us produce, whether that be just podcasts or whether it be like, I don't know, we could do like a Young Villains Podcast Pro Club or something like that. Like it, yeah, I just don't want to like sit down every single week and just discuss Villa. Like I want it to be it's sort of more than that, because we did this. We decided to do this when the Villa View stopped, because obviously the Villa they are returning actually. Tom
Are
Julian and yeah, they put a tweet out earlier. Tom Julian and Dan Bardell will be returning to make content for the upcoming Premier League games.
Get
Um,
in there.
exactly, yeah. But we did this because the Villa View weren't at the
Yeah.
time gonna be returning to podcasting. So
Alright.
obviously we were big Villa View fans, and we wanted to sort of do the same thing. So the podcasts in the Villa community wasn't all like over, and
Mm.
I believe we are the first young podcasting um like sort of thing in the Villa community. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
we're very original.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
yeah,
right now we do need to try and
yeah, we just want to
get
know what
actually
content
onto the
you'd like us
podcast.
to do.
No, because Harry does have a tendency to ramble on with things he's passionate about.
Yeah.
All right,
um,
let's get into the table.
yeah, let's do it. Alright, a lot of people have gone for Norwich to finish bottom, but I can confirm that I'm going to do the same thing.
As am I.
Alright? I think Norwich will finish bottom. And looking at the squad, yeah, I don't know how Norwich are like bottom of the league. Like, if you look at the likes of Cantwell, Buendia, Pookie, I just don't see how they struggle for goals with them three playing like
Mm.
as attacking players. They've also had a lot of leaky defence, so they've conceded quite a lot of goals.
Mm.
But you expect a defence with Max Aarons, Jamal Lewis, Ben Godfrey, like, and even Tim Krul in goal. Like, he's a decent keeper. He's got like bags of Premier League experience. He
Mm.
knows the league, and I think you know. It might sound weird, but I personally think they're the best bottom of the league side, but that we've seen for a long time. We'll just quickly go for their fixtures as well. They've still got to play Southampton,
Mm.
Everton, Arsenal, Brighton, Watford, West Ham, Chelsea, Burnley, and Man City.
Tough
I think their
games.
games against Brighton. I just think their games against Brighton, West Ham, and Watford will be absolutely crucial for them, and potentially even us
Mm.
as well. Because if
Yeah.
Norwich do beat them three, it gives us more of a chance of staying up.
Mm. The issue with
I ho-
them, though, them games there,
yeah,
it's mainly the issue of one. Obviously, it's got the FA Cup as well coming up.
yeah,
Right after
yeah,
the Everton game, that's an important one for them. But it's also like nine points there. They're the only 9 points you can really see them picking up. Do you really
yeah,
think 9 points is going to be enough to keep them up when they're
yeah. And
six
they've
points
only won. Can I just say they've only won
from
they've only
second?
won 5 games all season. So we're
Yeah.
saying, oh yeah, they need to win 3 games. They've only won 5 all season. So
Mm.
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I just can't see
Yeah,
Norwich staying up.
they pretty much
Um,
need to win at least all of their games if they're going
yeah,
to have a chance.
yeah. Obviously, we've just
Mm.
touched up on the Brighton, West Ham, and Watford games. Even if they do win them 3 games, they've still got to play Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea, City, Southampton, and Burnley. That they are all tough fixtures for a team like Norwich. Sorry, I think they'll go down. Sorry if there's any Norwich fans listening. I think Norwich are going down.
Alright, yeah, pretty much same for me. If you got in 19th.
19th, I've gone for Brighton. Now, this could shock a lot of people. I've gone for Brighton purely because if you look at their remaining games, it just screams squeaky bum all time. Uh, they've got Arsenal, Leicester, Man United, Norwich,
Mm.
Liverpool, Man City, Southampton, Newcastle, and Burnley. That
Also,
game against
yeah.
Norwich.
Mm.
Sorry, what, you got to say something?
I was just going to say it as well. They haven't won this year.
Yeah,
Is that a determining factor?
yeah. Since 2020, they haven't since 2020 they haven't actually won. So yeah, uh, that game against Norwich will be absolutely huge for both teams, and I can potentially see it finishing in a high scoring draw just because both teams will want the 3 points so much. That I can just see it's ending in like a 3-3 draw. If Brighton do win, you've got to look at the other teams that they still have to face: Arsenal, Leicester, Man United, Liverpool, Man City. They'll all be challenging for Champions League, and then you've got Burnley, Southampton, like, and even Newcastle could be tough for them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry to Joe Weller, Fusion Josh, Brighton are
Who
going
cares
down.
about them?
Who have you got in 19th, mate?
I've gone for Bournemouth purely
Uh,
for the fact that they don't really have many winnable games left, do they? They've got a couple. They've got Newcastle and Palace, but they're the
yeah,
only ones I can really see them winning here. The last 9 games for them they're very tough.
yeah,
Palace, Wolves, Newcastle, Man United, Tottenham, Leicester, City, Southampton, and Everton. I don't really see them picking up any points out of them. I think 19th place is going to be our Bournemouth end up.
yeah. Well, obviously, I've actually got them in 18th. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'll just touch up
same
on what you
reasons as
said.
me, really.
Yeah, well, people will say I'm being biased towards Villa here, and I probably am because I'm not
Yeah.
going to come out here on a Villa podcast and
Mm.
say that we're going to get
Yeah.
relegated
That
and be like that.
every team overestimates themselves.
Exactly. Yeah,
Unless you
I'm not gonna.
like top of the table, you win UCL every year. Every team overestimates themselves.
Exactly. I'm not
It's
gonna be. I'm
just
not gonna be negative.
yeah.
Because there'd be no point in doing this week in week out the
Mm.
podcast if we all genuinely felt that way about our club. Villa
Yeah.
could go down 100%. I'm not ruling us going down out at all. In fact, my head says that we won't win any of our games and we'll go down. But I'm going with my heart. I'm
Mm.
going to say Villa will stay up, and it's our
Yeah.
podcast, and we are all entitled to an opinion.
Mm.
Whether you in the audience think that's right or wrong, that's up to you. But a
Mm.
few hate comments on Twitter will not change the way I feel about my club.
Also,
Just look up all the fixtures. Do
in
you want to read it on me?
well, read through them all, haven't we? So
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I forgot that.
Alright.
uh,
Alright.
Yeah, they've got a lot of tough games.
Mm.
As Ben mentioned earlier on in the podcast. And on paper, Bournemouth shouldn't be going down. They shouldn't be battling relegation, in my opinion. They've got some great players. When you look at the likes of Callum Wilson, good goal scorer, Joshua King, decent player, even Harry Wilson on loan from Liverpool. I
Mm.
just can't see them getting enough points to stay up, and it's been a good journey for them to get from League Two to the Premier League. Eddie
But
Howe's done a decent job. But
they're going down.
I think this is a step too far for Eddie
Mm.
Howe and Bournemouth. Sorry, I think you'll go down.
Alright. I've got 19th. I've gone for West Ham, simply
All right.
because we've got them last day. They don't really have a favourable fixture list, really. Looking at some of their games, it's a bit like ours. Really, it's quite tough. Obviously, last game of the season on Villa versus West Ham, that is going to be absolutely vital for them, and I just don't think they're going to be able to beat us on that final day. And I think we will just stay up with the skin of our teeth from
I hope so, man. I
that.
hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, like you're putting a team a lot. You're putting every single team
Mm.
one place below me because I've gone for West Ham in 17th. Um, I think West Ham will be extremely lucky to stay up.
Yeah,
If they
they
stay
will.
up. I think the relegation places will all be very tight, and we could potentially see anybody out of Bournemouth, Brighton, West Ham, Watford, and
Mm.
ourselves, Villa, go
Yeah.
down. Looking at West Ham's game, I genuinely can't see them finishing above us. I don't think they'll go down. You look at some of their players like Felipe Anderson, Sebastian
Yeah.
Haller,
They've
even
got too
Declan
much
Rice. You
talent
know what I mean?
to be in the
Quality players.
championship.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't see how they've got themselves into a relegation battle, but I
Uh,
can't see them going down. I think David Moyes is a decent manager. But yeah,
yeah.
I genuinely can't see them going
Yeah.
down. I'm putting them in 17th.
Uh, and in my 17th, I've gone for Aston Villa. Now,
Uh,
obviously, this is biased, but I mean, we do have a few winnable games in our
yeah,
last ones. We got Palace, got Everton, we got West Ham. Yeah, 9 points won't be enough to keep us up though, but we got United there for the taking, Liverpool there for the taking as well. No, not Liverpool. Arsenal. That's
Arsenal.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. And Wolves are as well. They're there for the
Yeah,
taking.
true. Yeah.
So
Sheffield United as well. Obviously, first game
yeah,
back. That's a winnable
yeah.
game
So
if we
we
play
definitely
to a
got some fixtures where we can pick up a few draws. I think we'll
Yeah.
just about edge it though in that last game against West Ham.
Yeah. All right. I've put us in 16th. So
Yeah,
again,
keeping
keeping it
up
up.
the
Yeah. Putting
keeping it up.
putting the team one place above Ben. Now we get on to obviously Villa.
Mm,
Ben's just touched up on them. I put us in 16th because I think McGinn coming back will help us absolutely crucially. Like I think McGinn coming back could keep us up by itself. But there's other reasons why I think we'll stay up. I think there'll be less pressure on the players who haven't been in the English game for too long. So the likes of Al Ghazi, Trezeguet, Bear, even Douglas Luiz. The amount of times that Douglas Luiz, a lot. I know Max said this in the last podcast. That the amount of times that Douglas Luiz has misplaced a pass, and then you can imagine the anger and the frustration getting on
mm,
Douglas Luiz's back, and I think sometimes it can actually scare some of the players that haven't been in the English game for too long. Um, yeah, I think we'll lean on
mm,
Samatta to score goals, and I'm confident in him doing that. Because before COVID-19, like came around and everything. He was playing well and popping up with goals before the season was stopped. That goal he scored at Wembley was unreal. It was just a brilliant
mm,
header. I think now we've got a striker who isn't afraid to use his head, like Wesley. We
mm,
will succeed, and if there's less pressure on El Ghazi and Trezeguet, we could expect better crosses from them and deliveries into the box. Samatta was the first Tanzanian to play and score in the Premier League. He could potentially be the first to help a team stay up. So positive vibes from me towards my team. I
yeah.
think Villa will stay up.
All right,
Yeah,
and
who've you got in 16th?
I've gone for Watford, and this might be a bit controversial, but they've not had the best few games. They'd say people say form's not really that good, but I mean people are praising Pearson for doing so well with Watford. After they beat United, they did well against Liverpool as well. But I mean, like you
They
haven't,
did well against Liverpool. They did absolutely brilliant against Liverpool.
you know, but you're saying that there, and then they lost to us, lost to Tranmere, lost to Everton. drew to Brighton, lost to United. They beat Liverpool, in fairness, and then they lost to Palace as well. That's the only
Yeah.
win. It's the only win that they've got, and it's just like last few games, tough ones as well. Leicester, Burnley, Southampton, Chelsea. They've got City and Arsenal as well. It's just quite tough for them, and I don't really think they're going to progress that much. And I don't think Pearson's really got the team spirit in for Watford to be able to keep them up.
You've put them in 16th,
No,
what do
I
you
know.
mean?
I mean, keep them up in the table.
Oh,
No.
right, okay.
Yeah.
uh,
Alright.
moving on.
Who's in your
uh,
15th?
15th, I've got Crystal Palace. Now, people expect me to go with Watford, but no, I'm going with Palace. You only have to glance at the remaining games, and you know they won't do too well. They've still got to play Leicester, Chelsea, Villa, who are obviously our team. We'll be
Liverpool.
we'll be fighting for our lives to stay up in the Premier
Yeah.
League. So
That's
that
saying you
I,
forgot
I
Liverpool.
yeah, I personally think we'll win. We'll beat Palace, but we'll see.
Let's hope, mate. Let's hope.
After Villa, they've still got to play Man United, Wolves, Tottenham, Burnley, Liverpool, and
Mhm.
Bournemouth again. Another team who'll be fighting for their lives. I think Zaha is on the way out. I think he knows he's on the way out. And I think he will leave Palace this summer. I think it's been too long. Pretty much every single
Yeah,
transfer window since.
he needs to leave his
Yeah, I
current
know.
one. He's
Yeah,
27 now. He's not gonna
exactly. Yeah.
he's not gonna do anything at any other club now. It's meant to be his prime. He's got 3 goals this season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we will get onto that in a minute. But yeah, I think Palace will lean on Zaha to be the star man and maybe score all the
Mm,
goals. But I just can't see him bit
yeah.
caring, to be honest, because I don't know why. I just think Zaha comes across to me as such an arrogant player. Like
Yeah.
some players that are like the star man of their team are usually like really humble. Like I know
Mm.
it sounds biased, but Grealish is a really humble and nice person. And he's got time for the.
Course. Yeah.
Zaha. Whenever I see Zaha, I just think arrogance. I'm not sure why.
Right.
I personally think his mentality will be: we won't go down, we won't get European football.
Who
What's the point of
cares?
even
Who
putting the
cares?
effort in?
Fair
Yeah, exactly.
enough.
Uh, the guy's only scored 3 goals this season.
Mm.
That's the same amount as Patrick Van Aanholt.
Yeah.
He clearly doesn't care about Palace anymore. And apart from Jordan Ayew, who do Palace genuinely have that will score goals and create chances? Because I can't think of
Yeah.
anyone, to be fair.
Fair
This
enough.
is just a fact. Hang on, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say fair enough.
Yeah.
It is.
This is just a fact, yeah. And it sums up how bad Zaha has been this season for Palace. Uh, I know. I think he did have a bit of time out on it, injured, but he's played 2,545 minutes of football and scored 3 goals. Bear in mind that's from an attacking position,
Yeah,
right?
that is
Je-
just dreadful.
yeah, Jeffrey Schlupp, a fullback, has played 859 minutes of football for Crystal Palace and scored twice. So
Yeah.
Wilfred Zaha, an attacker, has played 3 times the amount of games of Jeffrey Schlupp, a fullback,
Mm.
and scored one more goal.
Yeah.
Mate, I've just got
Woeful.
I've just got another fact. Right, go on.
Oh, mate, come on, hurry up with this fives.
All right. I've just got another fact here. Did you know Jeffrey Schlupp is actually deaf?
What?
Jeffrey Schlupp is deaf. He can't hear.
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
that's a fact of the day. Obviously, we'll get on to Ben's fact of the day
Best fact.
a bit later on. But yeah, that is that is my fact of the
Oh my
day.
gosh.
Jeffrey Schlupp can't hear. I'm not sure how he manages to be a footballer if he can't hear.
Sign language.
Because true, yeah, very true. Ben, who
uh,
have you got in 15th?
well, in 15th, I've gone for Newcastle.
Uh,
That's simply because it's a joint lowest scoring team in the league alongside Norwich. You know, people are like praising Brucey for doing good things with Newcastle. He's really just scammed his way through to 1-0 draws,
yeah.
1-1 draws, 0-0s. He's been doing that all season. They barely scored any goals. It just doesn't look they've got anything up front. The star signing Joe Linton got 1 goal this season. It's woeful. Like we got 5 goals from Shelby, everyone else 2-1. Like it's not a good look for them. Yeah, and they've just been completely underperforming in attack.
Yeah. Well, I've got Newcastle in 14th. people will probably be listening and thinking Watford in that I should put Watford in 14th. Um, I've got my Newcastle because
He's
I
put
think
Watford in 13th.
yeah, well, yeah. Uh, I think with all the rumours of the takeover, from the is it Saudi Arabians? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
No one cares
I
about
think
him.
there'll be pressure on the players to do well and try and secure a first
Mm,
team place for next season because if the takeover does go through, Newcastle will spend big. They still have to play Liverpool, Man City, Sheffield United, and every single one of the bottom five
mm,
teams, who will obviously be fighting for survival. I think this season, however this season ends for
yeah,
Newcastle, will be irrelevant. They won't go down. They won't get Europe. The only thing that Newcastle fans will be caring about is
he's
next
in there
season
always.
and the whole
Yeah,
takeover because I'm telling you now,
mm,
if the takeover goes through, they will spend big, and
yeah.
in my opinion, we'll be fighting for the title next season. Mark my
Right.
words.
Let's hope for them. So,
Yeah.
alright.
To be fair, I don't mind Newcastle. I really
Yeah.
don't.
Well, in 14th, I've got Brighton, and
All right.
yeah, that's just simply because I couldn't think of anyone to put in 14th, and Brighton are in 15th right now, so I just think they'll pick up. Like,
Why's
and
my thing going off? My alarm just gone off.
turn it off.
Yeah, well, don't worry.
Yeah.
Subsidizing.
Alright. So yeah, I just don't know. I just put them there because why not, innit? Pretty much. Alright. Who've you got in 13th?
13th, I've gone for Watford. So I finally put Watford in a position.
Mhm.
Um, I can see Watford having a really good end to the season. I think the board getting Nigel Pearson in was arguably the best mid-season managerial decision that we've seen in the top flight for a long time. I think Deeney will score goals for fun. I think Zaha will play well. Overall, I can just see them being the Leicester of 2014 and 15. Obviously, they did the Great Escape. In
Mm.
December, if you would have asked me whether Watford would stay up, I probably would have said no. But after they beat Liverpool 3-0, I just thought, you know what, Watford will have a good end to the season. That Liverpool game wasn't a fluke either. Like people will be saying, oh yeah, but Watford are way worse than Liverpool. Yeah, it was a fluke. Watford were untouchable that night, and Liverpool were terrible. But Nigel Pearson knows how to get results in the Premier League. He completed the Great Escape with Leicester in 2015. He'll do the same with Watford this season. Now
Mm.
all Watford need to do is sack Pearson, get Claudio Ranieri in, and now win the league next year.
Big ambitions, mate. Alright. Um,
If you got him 13th.
I've got Southampton.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah, I know Harry's rated Southampton quite highly. And I've just put them up one place because I put Newcastle in 15th. And to be honest, I didn't really look at Southampton's fixture list. I just know that they're decent sides. Um, yeah, but not really had a good year. Well, good couple months. They had a good start to the year though. I mean, yeah, we started looking really good after, yeah, having a humiliating loss to Leicester. But they've been looking good past few months. So I just put them higher because they've got an easy set of fixtures as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got in 12th?
I've got Everton in 12. I was close to putting
We agree.
Southampton here. Oh yeah, decent. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
uh, I was close to putting Southampton here, but I just think that Everton's games are that little bit more
Mm,
tough. It doesn't really matter where they finish because again, just like Newcastle,
yeah.
they won't go down and they won't get European football. So yeah, 12 for Everton.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only
If you
thing
got in
that
12.
really matters for them,
Oh
I've
yeah, you got
got
Everton.
Everton.
What am
Yeah,
I got?
the only
Oh
thing that
yeah.
matters for Everton is not losing to Liverpool, so they don't
Yeah.
give Liverpool the title at
Well,
Goodison.
Liverpool could win the title against us, couldn't they?
No, they can win it against Everton.
All right.
This is the craziest thing. Everton have got to focus and not losing that. And
Yeah.
they'll be happy then. All right, you've got in 11th.
Southampton. If you would have asked me in December who I think would go down, I definitely would have said Southampton as one of the teams. I remember them beating us 3-1 on my birthday in December, and I thought then Southampton will have a good second half of the season and get mid-table. They obviously beat us
Right.
2-0 at their place as well. Danny Ings knows where the back of the net is. I think Southampton finishing 11th is fair, and I think the fans will agree. And in December they probably would have took that. In fact, you know what? They wouldn't have took that. They would have snapped my hands off. Um, so yeah, 11th for Southampton. Who have you gone for?
Well, you see, here in 11th, I've gone for Burnley, and Sim-
Alright.
yeah, just Burnley in it. I don't really think they'll get higher in the league. I don't think they'll get lower in the league. I think they'll just pretty much stay nearly where they are and do
Yeah.
all right. Just like Burnley.
Yeah, well, I've got Burnley in 10th. I was close to putting Arsenal in 10th, but looking at both their fixtures, I can't see Burnley finishing above Arsenal. Again, another club that were battling for survival not long ago, but they just won a mental run. I remember they beat Man United at Old Trafford. Uh, and yeah, I
Anyone
think
can do
Vizza,
that.
yeah, I think Vizza, the Burnley vlogger, will take 10th. Shout out to Ben Livingston as well.
Mm.
Burnley has some decent fans. So yeah,
No,
10th for
shame that we
Burnley.
couldn't just show that when we beat them 2-1, but who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, in 10th
uh,
I've gone for
Yeah,
Palace.
wait,
Really.
another fact before you
Oh, God.
go for your 10th. We were the last team to beat Burnley.
Get
Just
in
thought I'd let you
there,
know.
lads. Get in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who have you
well,
got for in
in 10th I've gone with Palace.
Alright.
Yeah, it's just 'cause I thought they'd get 10th in it. Calm, he's in 9th for you.
I've gone for Arsenal. I can't really see Arsenal moving up or down any positions if I'm honest. I think they'll stay exactly where they are. I can't see them playing behind closed doors affecting them too much because majority of the time
Same,
the
mate.
Emirates Stadium is like a GCSE exam hall.
Did you see the
Um,
result today?
oh yeah, didn't they beat like
The last
Brentford?
the last 3 teams from Brentford.
Oh, well, I had them a 5-1 up at half time.
No, that was a joke. The last 3 teams from Brentford.
Oh, Jesus. Right. Change of plan. Arsenal are getting relegated. No, I'm just joking. I think Aubameyang will be wanting to score as many goals as possible to
Yeah.
being with the shot of winning the Golden Boot, and he could potentially be on his way out in the summer. He doesn't want to be spending the last years of his career challenging for a mid-table finish with Burnley and Southampton. Um, I've just got a fun fact for everyone listening. So another fact of the day. You learn everything on this podcast. We'll get into Ben's fact of the day at the end of the podcast.
Mhm.
But Aubameyang has scored 17 goals in the Premier League. Them 17 goals have been responsible for 16 of Arsenal's 40 points. 40 take away 16 is 24. So yeah, thanks for the maths lesson, boys.
That's
Uh,
almost yeah. Basically, Arsenal be below us, like Aubameyang, and that's also nearly 1 point per goal. Like
yeah. So
that's a very decent
that'd
record.
be 19th if it weren't for Aubameyang. That's
Yeah.
mental.
Alright.
Who have you
Right.
gone for in ninth?
In 9th, I've gone for Tottenham. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, it's a bit of a controversial one, but the reason for that is it's Spurs, and Spurs bottle everything. They've yeah,
it's true.
they've not really broken into Euro. It's quite tight uh, around the table right now. You know, from Burnley up to United, there's a 6 point difference. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's quite tight up there right now. I just don't really think there's going to be that much of a difference for
yeah,
teams challenging for top 5 this season. So I think it's just gonna, Spurs are gonna have a mediocre one and end up in 9th.
yeah. It sounds stupid, but Burnley could actually get Champions League football.
Yeah, that sounds so stupid.
Champions League
But they're
football.
6 points behind United.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
That's
word.
mental.
Oh my word.
Anyone could get top five. Obviously, top
Who,
five.
yeah.
Top five. I think top five will get Champions League because obviously
City.
Man City, City
City.
are
City.
City can't be in the Champions League next season because they're crooks. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah,
you know the bloke who revealed that got sent to prison.
yeah. What?
Like the bloke who revealed City's like frauds and that was sent to
Oh
prison.
yeah.
So funny.
Oh, all right.
Who's an eighth for you?
Eighth, I've gone for Sheffield United. In my opinion, I really like Sheffield United. But looking at the fixtures,
Classic.
they've got some difficult fixtures.
Fair
I
enough.
can't see them finishing above Tottenham as they've got the likes of Kane, Son, and all of them players that are out with injuries back. Coronavirus is arguably one of the best things to happen to Tottenham. Just a few words on Sheffield
Is
United
it?
though. I think so, yeah, because they've got all the players back from
Mate.
injury.
Yeah, fair enough.
I know people have died, but yeah, in
Yeah.
football wise, coronavirus and like just a few words on Sheffield United. They've had a phenomenal campaign. Like Chris Wilder's done absolute wonders at Bramall Lane. Obviously we played them first game back, and I'm a bit scared. To be fair, but then I think take Wilder away from them, they're a mid-table championship team at best. They haven't got an out-and-out goal scorer either. Like John Fleck and Liz Musette have both
Mhm.
got five each. Like
Yeah.
and two of John Fleck's just in December.
Mm.
Like, I respect Sheffield United on a successful campaign. However, I think they'll finish eighth.
Fair
Who have
enough.
you gone for?
I've gone for United simply
All
because
right,
they're overhyped. So
all
yeah, so uh, they're just too overhyped. I don't think really that they've got much in them. The fans just hype up their players too much. They seem to think Marcus Rashford's better than Jack Grealish, which arguable, at least. Yeah, I just really think the two are like the two overhyped for where they are. They've only really got their cut of draws and just don't really think they're going to pick up many points.
right. All right.
Yeah,
I respect your opinion. I've in seventh. I've gone for Tottenham. Obviously, we both just touched on Spurs. Son, Kane, Ali, and was Ali injured? I can't remember. They'll
who
all be
cares?
back. Yeah. uh,
Who cares
they'll
about
all
Spurs?
they'll all be back after obviously after being injured. But I just can't see them finishing above Man United or Wolves, to be honest. I think they'll get Europa League, but nothing more. So yeah, seventh for
Fair enough.
Tottenham. Who have you gone for in seventh?
In my seventh, I've gone for Wolves. Simply because one, I don't want them to get Champions League. Two, I don't think they will. Again, like United, I think the fans hype the team up a bit too much. I mean, they've got a good team, they've got good players in the team, but I just don't really, see where the Champions League quality is in that side. Even though they've got very good players in that side, I just, I don't think they've got what it takes to get Champions League football just yet. I think they need to, you know, sort themselves out a bit, and maybe they'll get
Oh, fair
Champions
enough.
League. Who knows?
Fair enough. Yeah. Uh, Sixth, I've gone for Chelsea. I think sixth to fourth will all finish on around or around the same amount of points. And I
Yeah,
think it'll come
three.
down to goal difference. Chelsea's goal difference is worse than Man United's at the moment, but better than Wolves's. Uh, that's sounding weird. I said Wolves's. What am I doing?
Wolves.
The Wolves.
Wolves.
uh, yeah, I think Chelsea agreeing to sign Werner, and I know they're interested in Havertz as well. I think I sort of think that could cause issues with Abraham, as he's done well up front for Chelsea and scoring
Mm,
15 goals, and he may feel as if he's being replaced
but
by
he is.
Lampard.
Listen,
Yeah,
like he is.
yeah, Tammy Abraham, if you're listening to the podcast, come
Come
back
home.
home. I can't see them. I can't see Giroud or Batshuayi making a step up to score
Yeah.
prolifically for them either. So yeah, I think over the course of 9 games, Wolves' goal differential will get better than Chelsea's, and yeah, I think Wolves
Fair
will get
enough.
Wolves Champions League,
Fair
Europa
enough.
League, in my opinion. Who have you gone for?
In sixth.
So in sixth place, I have gone for Sheffield United, and
All right,
yeah, I've gone for them Blades in sixth because one I've quite liked him for ages.
yeah,
I think well I've got a good mate. He's a Blades, and he got bought into the hype from early. After the first season in the championship, I think they've really got something about him with Wilder. Like, I don't think they've got what it takes for European football. Even though they've got a team spirit, they've not really got any star players. They've not really got any standout players. I think
yeah,
it's just the immense team spirit. I think the team's quite equal as well on how they are. Like, I think they're all a very balanced team. They don't have good players and bad players. They're just mediocre players, and I think that really works quite well for them because they're not having to worry about who to pass to, who's the best player to pass to. All they're worrying about is, all right, what's the best way to get the ball from A to B, and we don't have to worry about who's getting it.
yeah.
I think that's a good factor and will help them get Europe.
Yeah, I really like. As I was saying earlier, like when I put Sheffield United in eighth, I really
Yeah.
like them. I like. They're probably the only team left in England. Well, no, not England. Left in the Premier League. Um, like challenging for like the top six or whatever. That they're just such a traditional like sort of team. Like I wouldn't like to
Mm.
see Sheffield United in like a massive 60,000 seater stadium with like all the
Yeah.
corners filled in. Like I love like the four sort of stands, and then they're probably the only team uh in the top, I don't know, top 8 or whatever, that
Mm.
you just go to Bramall Lane and find a burger van
Yeah.
outside. Like it's just so good to see them do really well.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, I really hope that they
Fair
don't
enough.
change the
Fair
stadium or
enough.
whatever. And
Right.
yeah, I think their fans are good as well. Obviously, that doesn't matter. But yeah, uh,
Yeah.
I'll move on to my fifth place then. I've
Right.
obviously just said I'm going for Wolves. Uh,
Boo.
After getting promoted 2 years ago, Wolves have had a great first season. Wolves had a
Alright.
great first season.
Mm.
They finished seventh, and a few people called that season a fluke or a one-season wonder, and said that they'll battle relegation. And towards the start of the
Mate, who
season, like
saying that?
August and September,
Yeah,
they were
they
battling
they
to get
looked
out of the
awful.
relegation phase. Like
It
we were
wasn't that
above,
though. It's just that they kept drawing games.
yeah, exactly.
That's
That's
the
to do so
shit.
many games. Obviously, with Man City being banned from the Champions League, the top five teams I think we'll get Champions League instead of top four. Obviously, it's not set in stone yet, but I think it will be very soon. So I think next season we will see Champions League football at Molineux. And yeah, I think next, obviously, Wolves and Leicester getting Champions League football. It will bring the interest of football and like tourism into the Midlands, which could be potentially be good for us.
Fair enough.
Because more interest of football in the Midlands equals more money, and people say someone's coming up from London, yeah, they will
London.
not want
Yo,
they will not want
London fam.
they will not want to come up to the
Mm.
Midlands without going to Villa Park, because
Right.
it's the best stadium in the Midlands.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, who have you gone for in fifth?
I've gone for Arsenal.
All
Um,
right,
yeah, I've just gone for Arsenal because their game against Brentford. I think that was Tactical Masterclass by I've got a Tactical Masterclass there by
Thomas Frank has done wonders.
I forgot what his name is. Arteta. That's it. So, Tactical Masterclass there by Mikel Arteta. Apologies for the those as well. But yeah, anyways, tactical masterclass by Mikel Arteta. Because City are going to underestimate Arsenal. They're going to think they're not very good. And then, boom, Arsenal are going to hit back and lose 3-0. So, tactical masterclass there. And then, no, just like Arsenal. I just want them to do well, really. So I just put them in fifth.
I really don't like
Yeah.
Arsenal. It's just something about them. I don't like them.
My mates are doing it, so there
All
we
right,
go.
fair enough.
Alright, who's in fourth
Yeah.
for you?
Fourth, I've gone for Man United. I've just gone from to finish above Wolves as Man United fan. I think seeing Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba in the same midfield will be wonderful. I just think they'll score quite a lot of goals with them two creating chances. If that does work out the way Man United fans are thinking, like, oh, they're going to be the best midfield duo in the Premier League, I think Man United fans do sometimes overhype and overestimate their players.
Mm.
Um, if that does happen, they'll get Champions League football. If not, we could see them slip out of the Champions League places, and even out of the Europa League places. As we said earlier, Burnley are 6 points off Man United, for God's sake. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
United fans don't want that. They don't want trips to Rangers on Thursday nights. They want to see Barcelona at the Theatre of Dreams, and hopefully beat them. So yeah, I
Well,
truly believe.
they also want to see Grealish at United, but I don't think that's going to happen either. Alright, well, in fourth for me, I've got Chelsea, so that means we both agree on the top three, and we should just really not need to explain that, everyone knows why. Yeah, in fourth I've got Chelsea, and that's simply because they're fourth now. Abraham's been very good this season. He's looked class. Yeah, I think Chelsea got a good team with him, so they're going to finish fourth. And then, should we say third, second, and first together?
Yeah,
End it
third.
there.
Yeah, what? 3,
Two,
2,
one.
1.
Leicester.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, no.
Leicester
Wait,
City.
are we saying the positions or like just the teams?
Teams. We we
All right.
we know Leicester third, City
Yeah. Well,
second, and
Leicester's
Liverpool
third,
first.
second and first. So
Yeah.
second, 3,
Two,
2,
one.
1.
City.
Liverpool. Oh, I'm joking.
I
Man
was
City.
just City. Yeah.
Yeah, so our
Yeah,
top three's all the same.
yeah.
Just speaking about Leicester, I think they'll finish third because I just can't see them catching City up. So yeah,
Mm.
that's it.
Fair enough. That's it. All right.
Do
So
you want to elaborate?
let's do the fact of the day now. Tomorrow, the 11th of June, 2020, as we're recording this. So
Yeah,
the 11th of June, 2020, Friday. Well, on Friday, the 11th of June, 1950, Frank Broom was born, and basically he scored 266 goals in 600 games. Well, he was a good player, and I believe he won the FA Cup with Derby County. So that's it for the facts of the day of the podcast.
yeah. Just a slight problem.
What?
You said you accidentally said Friday the 11th of June.
Yeah, ignore that. Wednesday, the 11th of June.
No, Thursday the 11th of June. God's sake.
Oh, right. Well, in this anyway, it's Friday, the 11th of June, so who
Yeah.
cares? Alright, anyway, right now, I've got to do something in 1 minute, so let's just quickly wrap this up. Yeah, subscribe, like the video, watch all our other podcasts as well, and
Yeah.
subscribe to Harry.
Yeah.
Watch the
Cheers,
FIFA
man.
tournament he's doing in a few days, and don't forget to vote for Jude in the FTAs. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty much
basically
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.